Howdy, I'm here with Skylor Brumbeloe, singer-songwriter from Northeast Alabama. How are you, Skylor?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. He's kind enough to bring me here to his home where he records all of his music here in his basement. Got all his gear behind me and his computer and keyboards and every other thing. And I'd like to start off by saying when you first picked up a guitar, that's kind of, you have an acoustic album, and that's kind of seems like something you really enjoy doing as the works with the guitar.
Yeah. I first started playing acoustic guitar. I was 11 or 12 at that time when I started playing, so I love doing that. That's how I still write everything, mostly. Start on acoustic and then go from there.
Now, was that something, you just learn every day at your house, maybe say in your bedroom, and then you sing at church now, you told me, so yeah. Was that kind of like the first maybe live audience you would say was maybe playing in church?
Yep, probably. I just kind of would shut myself in my room for months at a time and just learn guitar, and then playing. I played piano before that and playing recitals and things growing up, and then actually performing really it was church and then different events.
Do you remember what the first guitar was that you had ever gotten?
It was a Alvarez Dreadnought acoustic guitar.
Okay. Was that like a Christmas gift, or did you want it, or was it maybe a surprise that your parents seen you playing the piano and they said, well, maybe we'll give them this to try?
Yeah, it was a surprise. I had been wanting to learn guitar for a long time, and I actually got it for my birthday from my uncle who plays guitar.
Okay.
He had a lot of guitars, and he gave me one of his old acoustics to learn on.
Okay, that's cool. All right. What did you really play? Was it more of the church songs that you learned to play along to whenever you were learning, or were you more interested in learning a certain type of music that you listened to, or?
Really, some, but really just a little bit of everything. A lot of old 70s classic rock and 60s and 70s, and then newer stuff too. It's a little bit of everything. Just anything that had good guitar. I was trying to play.
Yeah. So after that, before you started producing your own music, you just a point where you maybe think to yourself like, hey, I could write a song, or maybe as far as a guitar song would go, maybe not necessarily lyrics. Like, what point did you realize you might be able to do that, or start attempting that, and maybe even finish one of your first songs?
Even when I was younger, I kind of mess around writing stuff, more kind of just playing around. But when I actually started playing guitar, I would always, mess around with different ideas. I was probably, 13 or 14 when I actually started, writing verse, chorus, sing this song.
Yeah.
I don't really remember the first song I wrote, but I know it was around that time when I started trying to do it.
Okay. You know when it was when you first published your first song or album?
I wrote some songs for church, and I would sing them there in my teens, when I was in high school. First, on the internet released song, I was probably 20. I think I put out an EP of about 6 songs.
Okay. And what's something that you would say inspires a lot of your music? Is it just maybe just a certain style of music you like, and just the enjoyment of playing just keeps you going, or is it maybe family inspired or other artists inspired?
All of the above. Just different things that happen in life. I'm not like a super autobiographical writer, but obviously anything that you live through is going to influence your writing.
Yeah.
But a lot of just the types of music that I like to listen to influence that, and any movies or books you read. I mean, you get inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's it just depends on the song and the day.
Yeah. So now that you do have, is it one album? How many albums do we have out?
I had an EP that I put out
and that
years
one,
ago
which
now,
one
but
was?
then
It
was called Evening Fades,
Okay.
and then I re-released or re-recorded some of those songs and released them on my album, which is out. It's called Come Gold or Grave, and then I released an acoustic version of that album.
Right. And now, what ways would you say is it worth it to yourself or motivate yourself to put it on a large platform such as iTunes or Spotify, SoundCloud, anything that somebody can view it or even purchase it? What are some benefits of that for you? Is it more? Are you trying to make a living doing it, or is it more of? Do you get more enjoyment out of it just knowing people are listening to it and that it is out there for anybody to listen to and hear?
I'd say I make it for myself because I love doing it. But I do, I would love to make a living, full time or even part time doing that. So yeah, it just anything to make it easier for people to hear it because I love that people listen to it, and still I get comments. It feels good to have people say that they like it. So
okay, so
make it easy to find. So.
The biggest thing is, especially down here with all your equipment, is you're producing the songs just solo by yourself. As far as making the drums and piano and keyboard and every other articles of the music aspect of the songs you're making, and you're doing all that yourself. So when or how difficult and how long does it take to record and really just one song? How long does it really take you to kind of get that down to where you might can say this is it, or I'm really close?
Yeah, it depends how fleshed out the idea is, I would say. Some songs I've really just strummed on guitar and sang, and I'll just have them, chords, melody. Other songs I have a pretty clear vision of, what I hear in my head, what I'm trying to do. If I know pretty much what I'm wanting to do, it doesn't take that long, I can be down here a couple of days when I have time to work on it and, have them mostly done. Otherwise, it's just a little bit of experimentation, just try this and see how that sounds, see if that brings any new ideas. And if that's the way, it might take a little longer, and even just, let it rest for a while and come back to it.
What's maybe a song, or is there any songs that you've had that you've gotten close to thinking you were done, and then you were like, oh wait, this sounds so much better, and you start working on it, and it just kind of pushes it back? Have you ever had just that one song that you maybe had the lyrics down, and then you'll change a certain part in the music and keep changing it?
Oh, yeah.
Have you had one that you just have held on to forever, and it's changed so many times before you gave up on it or put it out there?
Oh yeah, I'll sometimes I'll get my wife down here to listen to stuff for feedback and things, and I'll frustrate her because she'll listen to something and like it, and then a couple of days later I'll be talking. I'm like, I just don't think I like it. I'm going to change it, and sometimes that's just changing some instrument parts, and then sometimes it's just completely redoing the song. Like a single I released last year called Down Low. I've been working on that song for a long time, and I had probably two, I would say, pretty solid versions of it that I just
because even myself, I heard when you put the song out, and it has a lot more, I guess you would call it maybe technical style stuff in there with more electronic sounds, and that was the first I heard of the song. And on your YouTube page from however many years ago, I want to say it was from a few years ago.
Actually,
it was just an acoustic version, and the lyrics were, it was only a few words was maybe changed here and there, but it was, you took it from an acoustic song, so that was originally going to be an acoustic song, and then you turned it into that.
Yeah, because I actually wrote that song, I released my album, Come Gold or Grave, it's been almost 3 years ago now, and I actually wrote that song before I released that album, so it's been around a while, just trying to figure out the right way to do it. So obviously when I first started trying to record it, it kind of had more of that style to it, like kind of I guess you'd call it a more folk, Americana kind of style. And I worked with it like that for a while, and just kind of put it on the back burner and came back to it, and then I finally just scrapped it all basically, and then started over with a
That's awesome.
fresh.
Now, and you mentioned your wife coming down and listening to your music. How much does she support what you do? You're down here in the basement.
Yeah.
She works as well.
She does.
And you get home, you want to go maybe just jam out even down in the basement, play some guitar and stuff. So she's pretty supportive of that.
Oh yeah, she's very supportive.
And you do have your own family with your own daughter.
We have daughters too. She's great. I'm very fortunate to have her that supports it and wants me to succeed with it, and also my family that is able to help take care of a
Right.
child.
And that's actually one thing as well I've talked to you about before, is some of the vocals in your song you said even was from your sister.
Yeah, I've had my sister record some,
Okay.
and even my wife here and there record a little bit. So.
Another big question, I always think about this a lot with even other artists, is for you, what comes first, the music or the lyrics?
Probably like 80 to 90% of the time the music, because most of the time I'm playing guitar, and that's usually how it starts. Playing guitar, or maybe piano or keys or something, and I just kind of oh, that sounds cool. I kind of messing around with it and turn it into this and this, and even if that original kind of seed of an idea doesn't make it, that's what kind of starts the way. Usually the lyrics kind of, for me, once I get the first line or two kind of serves the music, like what lyrics sound like they fit this music, and then from there I'll kind of just sit down and write lyrics.
Okay.
But every once in a while I'll have an idea of like a line that'll come to me, and I'll kind of fit that to different music until I find something that I think it fits well, and I'll go from there. But mostly it's music comes first.
So what would you say might be the first, I've set up a large audience earlier in this, but speaking then, that was maybe a couple hundred people or less, at church. What was the first, even whether it be a smaller concert or something that you sang at? I remember here a while back following you on social media, like Instagram, where you were singing at a festival. What was maybe what was that? You said that was the Lights Festival?
This is the Lights Fest, which I think they do all over the country, maybe in the world. But that was the largest audience I probably played for, because that was several thousand. First larger audience, besides like different church events, maybe some like youth rallies, like back when I was in high school, and then like some played at like some local events like Relay for Life, or some like charity events and things that were like be held on baseball fields or football fields or whatever. Those would have several hundred people.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Alrighty. Playing these other instruments, you actually told me, which I would have assumed you, especially with the guitar influence on your music, that you maybe picked that up first and played that, and that would lead to your ability to play, piano and stuff. So you actually said you did piano first.
Yeah, I played piano first. I started taking piano lessons when I was about 5 or 6. My mom actually, made me take lessons at the time. I wasn't very happy about it. Now, thank you, Mom. But, I took piano lessons for 6 years, I guess, until once I started playing guitar.
And did that make it necessarily easier to pick up the guitar, because you kind of understanding the things like certain chords and the way kind of music's written and how it's played,
music and all of that. So when I started when I got my first guitar and I started taking lessons, I was in a class with several other people, and I was like, I'm not learning anything. I already know everything that we're learning here. So I stopped doing that, and I just taught myself, either with books or with just messing around, trying to learn songs and things, and taught myself guitar that way, because I had taken music lessons so long anyway.
Right. So other than music and playing different instruments, what's something that necessarily you like to do, maybe for fun, or just any other interests you have, any hobbies?
Pretty normal stuff, just going out with my family and doing things, or playing video games. I love going to see live music when I can get to.
Right.
But,
who is some of the artists that you really listen to? I know you've told me you listen to all genres of music, but well, what's maybe some artists you listen to that's maybe closer to the style of music you play?
That's a hard question.
It's a hard question because your style of music's pretty.
Yeah,
it's
pretty eclectic, kind of like.
I know. I see you a lot, like on social media, on videos and stuff. You might be playing something, say like John Mayer or Jimi Hendrix, or so. Is it more of people that people would consider were like just great guitar players? So you try to
Yeah,
really pick up those songs.
I'd say, John Mayer, some of his stuff is kind of a good comparison, but I've really influenced by like older 60s and 70s soul too, and then even like more modern hip hop and electronic music. I don't know, some newer bands maybe like I don't know, it's a hard question. But yeah, John Mayer would be a good one. The Decemberists, I think that would be a good one for some of my stuff.
So definitely more
like
more guitar, other mainly guitar influenced type music.
Yeah, especially for the stuff that I released so far.
Okay. How about you play a little something for us?
I
I don't know what you want to play. You want to maybe, his newest song is Download. You maybe want to give us the acoustic version of that?
Yeah, I can play a bit of that. Steady diet of caffeine and nicotine. The chemical compound is gonna put my mind at ease and chase away those visions in my head. I'm so tired of being awake, sick of staying in bed. So doctor, doctor, can you hide my pain? I take your meds, but I think they're to blame. So take the whiskey down, pour it if you will, 'cause it's gonna take more than a glass to fill. Down low, and I'm watching out my window. I keep company with the streetlight glow. Fill it up, I'm feeling down low. And I have friends, they don't see what it is that's been eating me. I have family, oh, for them I'm a saint. And I guess I am, but sometimes that's just mind games. Sometimes I'm down low, and I'm watching out my window. And keep my company with the streetlight glow. Fill it up, I'm feeling down low. Feeling down low. I'm feeling down low.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So that's Down Low. So you're on iTunes and what other platforms for them to
iTunes,
listen
Spotify,
and purchase?
Amazon, anything, any digital retailer.
Okay, so y'all check out Skylor Brumbeloe. All networks. He's on there. Thank you.
Thank you.